Whoa.
All right, so we're ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we can raise it if you want.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
that's as high as it
That's
goes.
okay. That's
I
okay.
cut that thing down and it's like an Amazon
No,
thing.
it looks good.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm glad we don't have headphones because I have a tendency to talk so weird when I hear myself.
Okay.
Like I get into this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 'Cause
You know
wanna
the
sound
sensation.
like a radio
like
guy.
a radio person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is better.
So this
Amazing.
I'm very psyched to meet you and tell me about your LA move.
Oh.
Like how did it all, like from the very beginning, how did it?
Okay, so unexpected. I had no plans to come to the States or leave Germany because I'm from Cologne.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I always traveled a lot and I love to travel, I've never moved further than 50 kilometers
Whoa.
from where I was born, which is so random. Because when I was going to school, I always thought, I'll move to Australia or something. I can't wait to get out of here. But I somehow never did. And then you probably know this, once you start building a shop, you're shackled. That's it. You're there forever. And then I was working with Simone Yatch.
Yes.
Yeah. So we worked together for the last couple of years. We became friends over YouTube. So I came to LA to work with her. And then I went on a date and met my now wife. So within it was so fast. Everything was so fast. Because she had a daughter before she had me. And you might know this too, like once kids are involved, then you're shackled too.
Yeah.
So I kind of traded the shop for the family life. And came here, super spontaneous.
So that's been the last year?
That's the last 1.5 years, yeah. We got married, now I had a second kid.
Whoa.
Everything is going so fast. I love it. I never saw that for myself. I thought, the shop is my wife and children.
But there's so much more. They're so fun, the little kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to get another space.
Yeah.
Because I'm wasting so much time just playing with the kids here. Like I'll go up to like get a cup of coffee and then I'll just play with my little daughter. I have like a 9-month-old.
Aw.
And just blow the weeks.
Yeah.
It's been good because, the danger for us is the burnout, is to just work and work and work. And it's like, it's the cure-all, the work.
Yeah.
Like you can fix everything. We can like fix the things in real time in physical space. Then you can kind of fix your life like monetarily if you're lucky. And then you can ignore everyone and block everyone out.
Yeah.
But it was like, Isabel and I came up with this idea. Isabel did. She was like, just get another space. And so, I'm going to get it's the same square footage as the house.
Oh, nice.
But I don't think I can do much shop work there.
Okay.
I think it's because it's like an office building. I don't think I can do noisy
noise.
work. Yeah. Which is good for me, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have a tiny little shop in the basement.
Right.
But I think it's good for me. Do you have like parameters or rules that you set for yourself for your shop? Like I'm not getting a blah, blah, like I'm never getting another table saw.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't want it. Too much. And then I don't want to have to move tools around. I want them permanently in a spot.
So because I moved shop in Cologne quite a bit, but then maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I moved outside of Cologne to the countryside, even closer to where I was born. And my shop there is absolutely perfect. It's perfect because it's at an old abandoned paper mill, which is in the woods. So you have the old industry, like in industrial stuff, lots of trash in the forests, but also the solitude of just being completely by yourself. And I have a tiny house and I have the shop, and me and my dog live there by ourselves, and he never wore a collar. I just open the door of the tiny house in the morning, then he walks himself.
You're going backwards.
I
Moving to LA is going backwards.
Kinda actually. But I think it's so interesting to get the chance to start over. But it's not a blank slate because there are so many limitations. I can't have the forest. I can't have the solitude. I can't have the tiny house. But I had all these things. So now what is new to me coming to America? Desert. Like, what?
So cool.
Yeah.
Things dry. Like that.
Instantly. You don't have to worry about rain. That is
For a
something.
couple months you do.
But compared to Germany,
Oh my God.
no,
Yeah, no.
that is not even a factor. Kind of. So that is interesting. So my shop now is relatively small, but it has a big outside area because I want to be outside. I want to be in the sun.
Yeah.
I haven't had sun for 40 years.
Wow, that's right. Wow, it's so good for you. And where is it, like, generally?
Canyon Country.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that
That's
is.
Santa Clarita area.
Oh yeah, that's where we go and shoot guns.
Oh, yeah.
And there's really good off-highway vehicle like network trails where you can do dirt bikes, quads. You can, if you have like a truck, you can drive your truck through these.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you gotta
miles and miles of it. Yeah,
Nice.
Santa Clarita. That's cool up there. And then, isn't Oak Tree Gun Club, I think, is up near there.
I've never shot a gun. That is something.
Oh, you will love it.
I don't know.
It'll be your new obsession. Do you have like how does it work? If you come here, do you need to have like a green card to buy a gun? Or do you have to be a citizen? How does that work? Do you know? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think I want to buy a gun. I'm terrified.
But you can rent whatever you want at the thing. And then they have an instructor there that shows you so you don't shoot anybody.
Okay.
Shows you how to do it, but
I don't know
it's
how it
super
works.
fun.
I think there are some things that are ridiculously easy to get in America and some things that are ridiculously hard compared to Germany.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of making my license here because I have to have a American driver's license.
Yeah, easy here, right?
It's like $45. And then I took an online test. And I swear, like, every other question was wrong because it was how many feet from a fire hydrant, and I still don't know what a foot is really because I come from veteran.
Right.
So wrong. 10 minutes later, I get an email. Congratulations, you passed.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now
That's
I know
why
why everybody drives like this.
That's why we have 0 Formula One drivers. Wow.
Yeah,
So what's the German process for getting a driver's license?
Oh, you have to go. First of all, you have to be 18. It's not 16. And then you go to driving school, and they have these cool cars where everything is double. So other than the steering wheel, but they have all the pedals. The mirrors are so that the passenger can see all the things. And then you have to go to theory for like 18 hours, 18 like appointments where you learn about the theory, then you take the theory test. Then you have actual driving lessons. I think it's also like 16 hours of highway and then at night, and you go through all the things and then you take the test. But when I did it, I think it was like $2,000 bucks. That's 20 years ago. I think by now it's like $4,000 to get a license.
Wow.
It's insane.
Wow.
And that's without motorcycle.
Yeah.
So do you have to have a special motorcycle license here, or is that just
I mean,
or trailer?
No one will actually care if you don't have one. But like there were a couple of famous people who got in motorcycle crashes. Like George Clooney, I think, and then I think Arnold Schwarzenegger, while he was governor, got in a motorcycle crash, and he didn't have a motorcycle license, but it wasn't a scandal.
Wow.
So you can get a learner's permit, which is they just give it to you.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's a written for it. Maybe there is, like 20 questions. And then that works for a year, and then you get, I mean, it's different for
You're still alive
state.
after that.
Yeah, then you go in for the test, and they watch you like weave through some cones, and then you do a written test, and then you get the license.
See, that's something I don't know, it's a new opportunity coming from a country that is so restricted. Like even if I want to go fishing, I did a fishing license with my dad when I was 14. That is hours and hours of going to training.
Really?
You have to be able to identify all the different fish. You have to know exactly which one is in season, how heavy it has to be so you can take it home. And then you have to know about about everything, absolutely everything. It's
here, you just go to a bait shop. It's like $8 or whatever.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, there's ups and downs to both sides, but now I have access to that. Oh, you can build whatever you want on your car. That is not possible in Germany. You can just buy a fishing pole and go fishing if you want to. You can you can take a truck and drive through the mountains. That's cool.
Yeah, it's still free in some aspects. Still the land of the free in some aspects. Texas is even crazier with especially with firearms. Like California is kind of hard for guns. There's like you have to pass tests, and you need a special, it's called a what's it called? FSC, firearm safety certificate. It's kind of like the car thing.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's only certain firearms that they allow that are legal in California.
I do agree with that, though.
I do too. I think there needs to be a little bit of a pain in the neck.
Yeah,
it should be a little bit of a pain in the neck.
I think it should be fucking hard to get a gun.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that would be. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm just very lazy.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
But there are other things in Germany that are just too accessible, like alcohol is.
Oh yeah, because there's no drinking age, right?
Not really.
No,
not really. I think legally you can drink beer when you're 16, but nobody cares. And there's so much empathy for kids wanting to drink. Like, you want a beer? Come on, I get you one. It's weird. It's backwards. I think beer and cars are the American guns. There's a lot of lobby around it, a lot of taxes, and a lot of money in it. So people are willing to be like, yeah, it's just alcohol.
Yeah.
That's not right either.
But you have good you have much better public transportation than we do.
Yeah, because everybody's drunk.
Yeah, that's probably. There's a lot of drunks here. I have a question. What's the vibe like in Germany right now?
You mean like politically, or just
like
in general?
I guess politically, and then it all kind of, because here it's like very fucking tense. Like, I don't feel comfortable, and this is kind of a newish thing. I don't feel comfortable speaking my mind with like friends. You know, I don't feel comfortable. It's like a little weird here. Because of, you know,
it's the same, I think, in Germany, because it's not like America is not this isolated country. Everything that happens here affects Germany and vice versa, but just America is so much bigger that the effect on what happens in America to Germany is a lot bigger than the other way around. But generally, to get it to a positive note, because I hate talking about politics because I don't know enough.
And
you
it's
know
also
what I mean?
very
It's too frustrating.
boring. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Right now is the best time in Germany because it's sunny and everybody's outside, and the whole city life in Cologne and pretty much every major city is outside. People cannot stand to watch TV. They know they have to soak it up because we don't have that much sun. We don't have that much summertime. So it's wild. Everybody's outside. Everybody's drinking on the streets, celebrating, listening to music.
That's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I miss that.
When was the last time you were there?
In February, March.
Oh, that's not bad. That's
no,
like 6
and I'm
months.
going back in October.
Okay.
For 2 weeks. Yeah, because before I met my wife, I bought a house a couple years ago.
No,
so
I know. I saw. It stresses me out just to look at it, just to see a thumbnail. I'm just like, no,
it's
no.
Bad. And that's interesting because now I'm changing my format to go back to where I came from, just weekly projects. I just want to build stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to build stuff. And the house was, when I bought it, it was just a personal interest. I want to fix it and I want to have a house. I'm sick of paying rent. So it wasn't planned for YouTube content, but then it took up so much of my time that I had to turn it into a format. And then it worked really well because people love to see people suffer and overcome things. And that has been the last 2.5 years in Germany, was just house. And before I had my work visa, I kind of had to pre-produce in Germany. So when I was there for 4 weeks, I had to do 12 videos. So when I'm here, I have enough in the can so I don't miss a week. It was a freaking nightmare. So now I'm going back to whatever I want to build this week.
Yeah.
I found a snake. I ate the snake. I turned it into snake leather.
Nice.
That's my stuff now. So it is super freeing to kind of start over, but at the same time go back to where I was coming from with my content. It's not as mainstream and as clickable as the house, but it also doesn't kill me, you know? It doesn't. So the comments on a renovation are just...
Don't read them. I don't ever read them.
I know. Yeah, I heard that you don't read them.
Don't
But
do
I kind of want to...
None of your business.
Yeah, you're right, but I want to know if they got it, you know? If I did a good job. Because I also want to go back to, or I'm contemplating going back to completely non-verbal.
Okay.
Because that's what I want to watch. That's the videos I want to see. Just somebody build something.
Okay.
And I want it to be told in a way where it's detailed enough for me to figure it out, but not too detailed that I get bored.
Right.
You know? If I watch a video and somebody's like, you have to cut it exactly 1.5 inch.
No,
the only material you can use for this is like,
Yeah.
I want it to be improvisable, you know, just learn from the problem solving and from their approach. But I don't want to and I don't want to be lectured. And I also don't want to lecture because I'm not good at it.
I loved your boat video. I fucking hate boats. I'll tell you that. But I love fuck boat. Like Tom and I made a movie, and the whole conclusion, we were in Thailand. Tom Sachs and I made this movie, and then the conclusion at the very end of the video is fuck boats. But the boat with the drill and the just that like that is it a Planet gear that's from the angle grinder?
Heim joints.
It's like got a 90 degree and then and like that it worked, and then you snap that like the top part, and then you had to weld it. Yeah, that's when I don't have welding. Is not in my. I don't know how to weld. So I've done it.
Yeah.
But I don't have this gear, and I don't. It's just. I don't know. Okay, I'll tell you the problem that I have with building stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like stuff. Okay. I like space.
Oh, okay.
I like physical space.
Yeah.
But I love comfort. And I love like things to be organized.
Right.
So that I can, and I love everything to work.
But how is it if you like these things like that? I mean, it's a jigsaw. Okay, yeah, it's a jigsaw. But I can't understand that you don't want a table saw because this is my bread and butter. Like the table saw, it was literally the first thing I had in my.
It's not worth the consequences. I've just met people with.
Saw stop.
Okay. I could do that, but then where do you put the fucking thing? They're huge and they're so loud.
Well, the better they are, the heavier they are, the quieter they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the little ones, like the plastic ones,
I guess in the fantasy of like a big 10,000 square foot, blah blah blah, I'd have everything. But I'm not an expert. I'm like a hobbyist, and I'm like just kind of, little things that I need, like little and I have that like Tom Sachs school of like making it kind of work and look pretty.
That's great.
I made that thing to keep the Bolex from they overheat if you shoot for too long.
Yes, so I have the same problem in my shop because it's in the desert and it's metal and it's not insulated and you cannot touch the walls after 11 a.m. It's so hot. The phone won't charge, the camera shuts off. So what did you do?
So I got some, and you can get that little thing that goes on an 18 volt Makita battery, and it's got a USB and a USB-C port on it.
Yeah.
One keeps the camera battery from dying, and one powers the two little computer fans there. And it worked. We did it an hour, and it works for 1 hour, and then the podcast is over. and so it just keeps it cool. That's great. But we tried it out like I think last week. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have you. How much time? Okay, with 17 minutes, we have plenty of time. But I'm trying to solve this problem. Do you ever get obsessed? Not obsessed, but like drawn. You have the thing. I'm supposed to be making this week a movie about clothes, about my clothes.
Oh.
And but it's been, as you know, it's been like the hottest 2 weeks maybe in California history.
Yeah.
And the blower on I have a brand new engine in my truck, brand new air conditioner, evaporator, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the blower is just not powerful enough.
Oh, okay.
And it's just the motor that comes out. I ordered a brand new one that's all cheap. Yeah. And I'm like, just want to get more volume coming out of the thing. Right. So it's the kind with the cage. Mm-hmm. It's like a wheel with the little vents in it. Yeah, yeah. And it spins. And I took the voltage from 12 volt up to 24 to double the speed. Okay. And I just did it off of a Makita battery. But when it was so fast that less air was coming out of the hole, and it was like, Mah! Yeah. So maybe we'll go down. Yeah. And I can pick your brain.
Well, I suck at electronics.
Oh, it's very simple. It's not more complicated than. Okay. I don't think it's the electronic stuff. I don't think it's the electricity. Right. I think it's the like drawing the air in, and maybe it's too. Maybe I'll just take it to like the air conditioning.
But you have a Toyota, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have I bought a car here in LA.
Yeah. That's Tacoma. The best. Got one right there.
Yeah.
Braxton drives it.
Amazing. That's another thing in Germany. Pickup trucks. Why would you want a car that essentially turns into a pool because it's raining all the time?
Oh,
so nobody drives a pickup truck.
Right.
But as a kid, I grew up like watching Colt Seavers, The Unknown Stuntman, and all that stuff with my brother. And the idea of having a car where you can sit with 3 people and then.
That's America.
A childhood dream. Yeah.
Have you been to Texas?
No.
Oh.
No.
I had a big F350 diesel pickup truck, which is just like a big giant one. the entire state of Texas is built around that car.
Wow.
So the toll booths are that height. You're like right at eye level. Yeah, you're right at eye level with them. Like the parking spaces, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very. I mean, I go way into all that American. I love all that stuff, you know. Yeah. But yeah, pickups are so cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm now building a little, because I found a perfectly good cap, like the shell.
Yeah.
It was just on the street. That's another thing. American trash is so different. It's
we have great trash.
Yes. I think we are right now in the best time for people who want to recycle things, because it's still not valuable to most people, you know.
You're right.
It's still overlooked, but it can't go on like that forever. We have to be like producing less trash and being more into recycling as a concept. But right now it's perfect. If you are into building with found objects, it's El Dorado right now, because people still like throw the best shit out.
People throw away Austrian-made snowboards that are totally fine.
Yeah.
The handmade snowboards.
Yeah, and metal everywhere.
Yes.
People throw out their metal.
Yes.
It's so valuable. What are you doing?
I know, and I think it's a reflection of the poor, generally of the poor quality of things. That like if you go to a dump now, like a trash dump, the bicycles in the dump are like not rusty. They're like almost new from Walmart, but they're just so cheap and garbage, and people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things I want to. That's like one of my propaganda agenda, is just like learn how to just, if something's broken, at least take it apart and try to diagnose.
But that's with clothes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yes.
You know, the shitty $5 shirt that will never last. Get a good one. Have you met Tyler Hayes, a friend from Tom as well? He has the M-Crow and the BDDW.
I think I have met him.
Yeah, he makes clothes too, and it's incredible. He bought one of the last 2 denim mills in America.
Okay.
So now he weaves his own fabric, and then he turns it into denim. Yeah, wow. Pants and jackets, and it's just incredible. These things, if they break, you can fix them. That's the cool thing. Like the shitty shirt, it's so thin, it's so.
Yes.
You how do you want to fix it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm very interested in your clothes episode.
Okay, good. Then it will. God willing, it'll come out on Monday.
Yeah.
Last week I kind of just blew it off, like literally, because I was working on that blower thing, and I just got sucked. Yeah, no, that's what I was asking. You ever get sucked away? You're like supposed to be doing the boat movie, but then
yeah. Actually,
what do you do?
For the boat movie, my then girlfriend, we were supposed to go on vacation, and back then, like back until I met my now wife, where I really prioritize family and my personal stuff much more. I never used to do that. So when I found the boat, I was actually having breakfast with friends at this lake, and then at the afternoon I was supposed to pick up my then girlfriend and we go on a vacation. I promised that for months and months and months. I was like, you know what? I found a boat, I can't go. My God. But yeah, it used to derail me because it was my entire life, and I loved it. Now it's a little bit more balanced, and it's really good for me. And weirdly, up until now at least, I still make a video a week, even though we have a newborn. So I go to the shop. Maybe I have 12 hours a week to work. Maybe.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And before I came here, I was in the house. I had 7 people working for me, editors, a cameraman, then people who actually do physical work with me on the house. And I did a video a week, and I was working 50, 60 hours.
Yeah.
And the result was the exact same. And probably my money, the money that came to me, was probably also the same.
Yes.
Because I had to pay so many people. Like there was such a big payroll and materials. And now I can do a video about finding a truck cab.
Yeah.
I can do it in 12 hours. And the result is the same. It's less work, and it's more, I can breathe again.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
And also with that kind of limitation, you throw more imagination at it.
Yes.
You throw less resources and more imagination at it.
Yeah.
My brother has a very successful channel, and he never, I mean, I think he has 12 million subscribers or something.
I used to be so addicted to his videos, but it kind of stressed me out too. Like when he did the daily thing.
Yeah.
Ooh. I felt his stress.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, it's nice.
He's the only person who could do it.
Yeah.
He's the only one who could do it to that degree, because they were high production. But he I think the way to do it is as you don't want to go big, as small scale as you can, as small a scale as you can manage. And if the ideal is kind of, I mean, I love having Braxton. He's like
that's amazing.
Lubrication, and one is just yourself is kind of, it's a little too precarious because everything stops, but
I still have my best friend. She is in Germany. She works with me, so she does like taxes, sponsor communications, all of that stuff that I suck at anyway. So we're two people doing this.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. So if you have one partner in crime, also to go through the good parts with, like, let's go to a fancy dinner, we had a really good month, and to the bad parts, like, it will get better. Let's sit it out. I think that's really good to have one person who is as invested as you, because they also depend on all of this working. That's good.
Yeah. Well, where did you think you were gonna go before you discovered that, you have YouTube be my drug dealer?
So I think we have one thing in common, and that's the iMac thing. I hear you talk about that over and over, that the first computer that had the capability to edit on, you got it. And I had it too. My father had it back then, and I went to he had a little office in our house, and I worked there. Do you remember that iMovie had this like footage of a dog and a swimming pool?
That's how I learned to edit.
Yeah, me too. And then I had that.
Casey, my brother says that's Steve Jobs' kids and dogs. I'm like, no, it is. No, it is not. But go ahead.
I had a band at that time. So the whole, we did videos for a band, and I did a little bit of animation. And then after school, I wanted to be an editor and applied for that job. I got a job as a camera assistant instead, which was even better, because I realized when you're an editor for TV, you sit in a dark room, do a lot of hard work. Then somebody comes in who changes everything, and then you have to do that. You have no agency in it, and it's like, because it wasn't feature film, it was just like shitty TV shows, right? So I did the camera assistant thing, got frustrated with that. I wanted more agency. Then I studied design and did more photography stuff. Realized I hate working on a computer. So doing the design stuff, I got into building things because I had a typography class, and I built a tattoo machine, like a prison style tattoo machine, and worked on tattoo fonts, like tattooing pigs' legs and ears and all that stuff. And I realized building that is so much more fun than any of the design shit that I had to do. So I found a couple professors that were into what I did and that it was so different. And I just finished my design. I got a master's degree at it, but only building stuff. And so during that time, I started my shop. I left my apartment, sold my car, bought a little camper, and moved into an old warehouse where I had my first job, and just totally committed to that lifestyle,
How did you support the shop? How'd you have rent for the shop and all that?
It wasn't that expensive back then. I think my first job was like $650 a month, and that was a big real estate, and I lived there, so that was my regular rent. It was kind of easy.
It's the biggest problem in America is that, and I am obsessed with politics, and it is disgusting, and I don't know if it's my age or if it's the era, but it's like the thing, I don't even make videos about how much I consume. I'm just trying to understand what water I'm swimming in. But I think the chief problem that's making America not fun, because before September 11th, this place was unbearably fun. It was hard to do, get work, to just concentrate, because there was so much fun. Everybody was in on it. New York, the last time I was in, this is a story I like to tell, last time I was in the World Trade Center, I was with my brother Casey. We were wasted. It was I don't know, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. There was a mall in the basement. And there was one door that was just if you kicked it, it opened up. And so we were racing our bikes up and down the hallway. There was one security guard, unarmed, who was just like, hey, get out of here. That was it. No cops came, nothing. That's what America was like before September 11th. And then before October 2008, with the financial crisis, we rented that 368 Broadway. That was $1,150 a month or something. I'm telling the story wrong. That was after September 11th. That was to because the whole neighborhood was poisoned with mercury. That was to get people to move down there. But people could move to big cities.
Yeah.
And you could hustle and afford to get, and there was lots of imagination. But now, like, private equity is buying, because they got so much money from the bailouts. It all went to these banks. And so all the banks started buying up all the mortgages and buying up all the housing stock.
Yeah.
So now you're just competing. You're not competing with a family to buy your house. You're competing with BlackRock or whatever.
It's insane.
And it's and it's like ruining America. And I hope that somebody, some system or whatever, the market or however they suss it out, figures that out. Because like you said, like you got a shop and you could live there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's another thing. They have the authorities, especially in California.
Yeah.
They'll send, oh, you can't be living here.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, to be fair, it was illegal in Germany too, but nobody really.
But they're not going to enforce it.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
No, it was.
What was your plan for money?
I worked in a bar.
Okay.
And I don't know. I always had little side hustles and side gigs. I worked with this guy renovating houses, and I don't know. When I think about it, money was never a worry because my overhead was so low, and that's where I kind of want to be too. But as you said, it's very, very hard in America to have a low overhead,
especially here, like especially LA County.
It's insane. The Tacoma I bought, like I looked for the cheapest pickup I could find, and that was that. It was like $10,000. What? How do people do it? I see on the street every time I see a fancy pickup truck, I'm like, how did you buy that?
Finance. A lot of people are in debt. A lot of debt.
That's
used
another
to be really easy to get car loans.
Also, a big difference about the housing in Germany is if you buy real estate, you have to have it for 10 years. If you sell it within the first 10 years, taxes are like 50% or something.
Oh,
it's
good.
Wild.
That's
so
good.
You can't flip stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is complicated now because I have this house and I wish I could just sell it because I'm not going to live there.
How long have you had it?
4 years now. Okay, so it's another 6 years.
6, yeah.
But it's also the way we're renovating it. It's insane. It's all clay, all natural, all like they used to do it 200 years ago. It's so beautiful.
They did it like that in Germany too? We went to this.
Like forever, yeah.
Wow. What? So you don't paint the walls? No,
it's stone essentially, like milled stone and clay and some other stuff, and then just water. And I show you pictures later. You can have any color you want, but it's all like natural tones, but like greens and yellows and browns. And then you can mix stuff into that, like shells or grass, so you get structure, or you can have it super smooth.
You mean when you order it, the people who make it mix it into it, or do you
mix it yourself?
Do you make the actual, like, is it like sheetrock?
No, so it's like stones. It's clay stones that are sun-dried, and then you put like reinforcements, straw or something, and then like clay over that, and then it gets finer and finer and finer. And the last thing is the colored clay, and that's just like.
Oh my God.
And you can, when you walk in the house, it's perfect humidity, it's perfect temperature. Yeah. You don't need anything.
Wow.
Because it's all regulated. You can have a bucket of water, throw it to the inside of the house, and it could slowly evaporate, because there's airflow. Wow. There's no layer of, like, no seal in it. It can all breathe. It's super complicated to build it that way.
Yeah.
But now that it's done, it's a perfect environment. It's so good. Wow. What a bummer. I'll never live there.
How do you know?
I don't know. I mean, even if
your
we
kids
went
are
there,
here.
The kids are here. And even if we moved to Germany, I think it would be a little bit too small because I bought it for me, not really seeing kids in the future. But it's cool. If you're ever in the Cologne area, you can stay there.
Oh, don't say that. I'm the guy who goes.
Actually, I brought something. I want to show you something.
Oh, cool.
This is my little thing that I try to support myself with. It's I call it the tape mate, and it's completely handmade in LA traffic. And instead of scrolling on the phone while I sit in traffic, I always make these things. I have a little box with all the
in the car you make it?
With all the ingredients. I'm running low on the straps, but so the idea is because tape measure is kind of boring, to make it a little bit more sexy, and it clips to your belt.
And that's a magnet for
bits, or whatever.
or bits,
Or you can clip it to your pocket if you don't have a belt.
Fucking great.
And it makes it one-hand operational.
Yes.
You don't have to hold it. It's just...
Oh, yeah.
Well, why is this tape measure fucked? Oh, my God. Well, Home Depot.
China.
Another thing. Like, why are they...
Fuck you, China.
I'll get you another one. But, where's mine? I lost mine.
Wow. I got one that'll fit in here.
Yeah?
I
You
think
can
so.
take it out. Or I'll make one real quick and you can put whatever.
Oh, wait. No, you have to unscrew it. Forget it. I'm not taking it out. Wow.
I'll make you
So
one
wait,
quick.
when you unscrew this, doesn't the spring go boing?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you do that? That's not done in traffic.
That's done in... Well, that's mostly done at home because I only sew the strips.
Okay.
Kind in traffic, and then I put the tape measure in, and then I engrave it. But what I like about this is
You
like...
drive an automatic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is something that feels to me like YouTube because it's all made... Like, I make every part. Like, I'm publishing this, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't need anybody, and I sell it for $100. And
Great.
that's like, I don't know. It feels to me like a honest and fair transaction. It feels to me like working in a bar. You know, I have this
Yes.
little thing when I have
Oh, so you have guilt about how much you get paid for your ads, huh?
I wish I had guilt about that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not getting paid. That's a hard thing. Like coming back from the house, which was the clicks were so much better.
Yeah.
Now it feels like even though I'm stepping back to having clicks that I had before, like around 100,000, 150,000 is kind of where I am. And the house
Yes.
was 300, 400. And now going back to something that I had before, it feels like a down step, even though I'm kind of going level again. You know what I mean? There's this experiment when you give a kid a cookie, it's happy. If you give a kid 2 cookies and then take one away, it's unhappy. You know?
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like right now. It's like, wow, there's no reason to feel like I'm failing because it's just what I think my videos can do. That's 100,000, reaching 100,000 nerds is actually pretty cool.
That's
you
like
know?
you're filling Madison Square Garden like 4 or 5 times.
Exactly. But if you had a format that was more mainstream, and then even though I didn't really like the audience because it was a lot of criticism and well actually you know,
Yeah.
especially if you do something, we renovated the house in such a specific way, and so like, oh well, why don't you use like
Oh, that
you
stuff
know?
is the worst is if it's people who've never done the thing before.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's like, wait a second, are you
Yeah.
making this suggestion having not done this thing? Because what you're watching is me never having done it before, like learning how to.
Yeah,
That's why I just don't read. Do you have a Patreon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love
those
that.
guys. I
That's-
listen to.
Yeah.
I
okay.
even make the videos that they suggest because they have better
Yeah.
ideas than I do.
They are great.
Guys and gals.
Yeah. Another thing I love is the Premiere feature. Have you done that?
No, what's that?
So you can set your video. I do that Sundays 3 p.m. was in Germany, so it's 9 a.m. here. Mm-hmm. And then the video plays for everybody at the same time. So you can post it, you can plan it, and then there's a chat feature to it. So I always go half an hour before the video starts. I open the chat, or the chat is there. I go into the chat. And then a lot of people who are on Patreon, they're just hanging out with me. It's like a Sunday morning ritual, and we talk about things, answering stuff. I can talk about the project a little bit more. And then we all watch the video together, and then it's over. Which is, I think that's the best feature YouTube came up with so far, because it is.
Maybe I will start
community.
doing that. Yeah, I have
might
this
like
new
it.
space, and I don't have. I'm thinking like extremely granularly about it.
Yeah.
Like I love these hanging desks that I use like shelving brackets for.
Yeah.
And like today I was like, I'm not going to make it 24 inches deep. I'm going to make it it's like 18 inches deep or something.
Yeah.
It's just a more harmonious. But I haven't thought, it's like 6 or 7 times bigger than this space.
That's nice.
So
Is it close? So you have to drive, or?
I have to drive. I could get there by driving or by electric bike. It's, I think, 5 miles away.
Right.
But it's down the mountain.
That's cool.
But it's in Calabasas.
Uh-huh.
And it's in a little village. I don't want to give it away because I don't want people to. I don't want you to visit. I don't want you to visit me.
That's scary though. Have you had that? People
Not really. No.
Yeah.
But and there's like this. It's called Old Town Calabasas, and it's a little village. So there's plenty of restaurants and little shops,
That's
and
great.
it's like a walking place once you're there.
Yeah.
And then Yeah, and I have electric bikes and stuff, so I can do that, or I can, I'll ride the motorcycle today. I'll take the truck today.
Yeah.
I'll take, and then maybe build a little like homework area for my son, because we're gonna probably put him in a different school in that school district, because we're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
If you have a business that you rent, a place that you rent, you can put your kid in that school district. And it's a much smaller and more conservative school district. It's all artists up here, and screenwriters and stuff. And artists aren't good at school. Neither are their kids.
That is true.
So I think my boy would do better down the hill, but we'll see about that.
Okay, hold on. I'm almost ready.
Wow. So this, you do this in traffic.
And
are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, this is not engraved now, so you can you can engrave it yourself.
Wow. Fantastic.
If you have a tape measure that fits. I'm so bummed out. I need to do... Oh, no, it works again. Did you fix it?
Nah, I just manhandled it.
You have both. One for yours and one original.
Oh, wow. So this is a gift for me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. I owe you. I'll give you one of these pencils, but I don't have one yet. I'll have to make you one.
Yeah. Well, but again, like this, I think this is what I understand as a business, is you make something and then you try to sell it, and then trying to have as little outside influence, as little gatekeeping as possible. And I think that is what YouTube is. It's I found a thing, I found a snake. It's interesting to me.
No
I'll turn
bosses.
it into a video. Yeah, and if it works, it works. If not, then it doesn't work. But it's not a financial, I did not invest thousands and thousands in making a pattern, and you know what I mean? And I have this product, and now I have the rights to it. And it's just, if anybody wants to make it, I don't care. It's just, oh, this doesn't have a magnet either.
Yeah, I love the way you think. I love that. I feel when I hear people who are like successful in YouTube, and then they either they aspire to like do a Netflix show or go on HBO or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you're going back. That's backwards. You want this, bring this as, push as much success with this as you can. I wish I had started earlier, but I think, I don't think it would have been smart for me to have my thing going same time as my brother's, because his was so explosive, but maybe it would have been smart. I don't know. I
just think it's about what's the bottom line? What are you trying to achieve? And I just want to have a good life, and part of having a good life is being able to build stuff. It's my therapy. Again, like being at home a lot with the kids right now, I feel like I need to go to the shop. I need just some time not talking to anybody, just being in the project, problem solving things. That is just the most soothing.
How far from your shop is your home?
45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It is a commute.
Oh.
Yeah. It is a commute. That's also a big difference from Germany, where I was living like 2 steps from my workshop. But it's kind of on purpose, because I want to keep those things separate. Yeah. And I want to have a little bit of time adjusting to what's coming next. I have a 45 minutes to adjust to next thing is work. What do I need? Yeah. Plus the day mates, exactly.
Yeah.
And then also the same, like just unwind from work, getting ready for home again, making some phone calls, because the time difference is crazy with Germany. Like I miss
9 hours.
My friends. Yeah, the only time I can talk to them is in the morning. So I actually like having 45 minutes to.
Oh, of course, it's office hours. Yes. Yeah. I've never had a commute, and I mean, I don't know if this counts. I've had a bicycle commute of 6 miles when I worked at Sax's studio. I lived on 94th Street. But that doesn't count. It's just a bicycle ride.
That's something where I sometimes fantasize about, working for Tom in a parallel life. You're too advanced. It's too late. It wouldn't be fun. It would suck. Maybe not.
Although I don't know, this new Tom is a much easier Tom than the Tom I got. I got the 35-year-old Tom. He was he was so crazy. But I love those kinds of people.
Yeah.
He's always from day one, he's been such a great teacher. But have you talked to him about your art exhibition?
No, not really. Last time I saw him, I don't even know when that was. Everything got derailed. I saw him in New York last time, but Yeah, I have this, this little loft over his part of the studio, with the mattress with the cat sleep on. That's where I get to stay whenever I'm in New York.
Cool. I've stayed there in emergencies. Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Especially that the best thing is having a jet lag, coming to New York, and then going to the studio. And usually it's when everybody leaves, and then I take a little rest, and then I get up at 2 a.m. and nobody's there. And usually Tom gives me a couple tasks that I could do or things that I could work on, and then you're just by yourself in New York in the middle of the night, like, okay, I'll do some
keep
welding.
That relationship like that. You want to be like me, like special forces, he calls us.
Yeah.
We're like the Navy SEALs of that studio.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be, and it takes. You don't want to. It's just demanding, and you don't make any money. It was just, I'm really glad I did it, but like that's what the people don't see. They don't see how hard that really is.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
How are you with employees?
Oh, I always want to be friends with everybody, so I'm like that kind of boss. It's like, no, don't, like, let's have an early day today. You go home, and then I get upset about myself. It's you have to be. Like, I hired my best friend 5 years ago or something, and she is perfect because she just needs to get stuff done, and she knows more about this business by now than I do, and she just keeps all the emails in check and the money stuff in check, and I don't even talk to her much about business at all. She just does it, and that is perfect. That is perfect. Yeah. That stuff's very, very difficult because the person has to be trustworthy, not in the sense of are they honest, but they also have to be very competent. And like forward motivated.
thinking, and
I think that's because she has overview of the finances. She's the first one to know when something declines or. So I told her in the beginning, like, you are self-employed now. You're not working for me. You're working for yourself, and I think that's what she's just a personality who takes things very serious, and that's why it works. But with other personalities, either like I'm too easy on people, and then I get frustrated because they don't have the intrinsic motivation to do it because they want to do it.
Yes.
I had a couple people work for me, usually young dudes, who come like, we'll fix this, and then if you don't control them every minute, they just start to be like, oh, she doesn't notice.
That's too bad. That's too bad. Yeah.
But again, like, I'm so happy not having to have people work with me. I like collaborations. I like to, I want to build this. I met this NASA engineer. She can probably help me with this. Give her a call.
Yes.
We want to work on this, and then we do it together. Rather than having somebody there that
You're right.
It's too much work for me.
It's better. Yes.
Also emotional, because I always want them to have a good time and think it's fun to work for me. I'm not a good boss.
No.
I'm not a good boss. I'm not a good employee. Both.
Same.
I suck at both.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, we found our thing, thank God.
The only job I ever really liked was at the bar where I worked. And I think I worked there for 8 years. And my boss, he just did not give a shit at all. It was essentially like this was my bar. And that's how I felt, and that's how I behaved. And he was okay with it. So for every shift back then, I still used to smoke. I always got like 1 or 2 packs of cigarettes that I did not pay for. I just took it out of the cash register because my thinking was I would not smoke these cigarettes if I was at home.
Okay,
so
sure.
Work should pay for this, right? And he was so easy. He was like, I don't care.
Wow.
I don't give a shit. So that was the only job I could hold.
How old were you when you were working in the bar?
25 to 35 or something. Yeah.
So 10 years.
Yeah, I think it was 8 years in that range.
Yeah. Wow, that's nice. And you were able to pay your rent and all of that?
Yeah, my grandma had a little bit of like university money set aside for us. And because my overhead was so low, it just lasted for a long time. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was super lucky. I could just focus on being weird and finding my weird, which is so hard to do.
Yeah.
And then
what do you mean? Go into that.
No, yeah, because I remember being in a workshop, in a private workshop for the first time, was a friend of mine's, and thinking like you can store stuff, you can have an inventory, you can have your own organization. I was so blown away by that, and I called my best friend, told her about this, like, and the shelves of trash, and it looked so amazing, and she said, to me that sounds like a nightmare, and then I realized, so this is I thought everybody wanted this.
I thought everybody thought in pictures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Until like a year ago.
Really?
I thought everyone thought in pictures.
I cannot have an image in my head at all. I don't see anything. If you say green apple, I can't see it. That's something that I recently learned. Like,
wow.
Like, I know what you mean, but I can't see it. I see like black and white.
Whoa.
It's so weird. I think that's why I can't sketch.
Okay.
I sometimes fake sketching because I can draw a little bit, but I cannot have like perspective and proportions.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
so sometimes I fake it to look like a good artist, but it's only I build something and then I try to draw it from what I built.
Yeah.
It's not the other way around.
Oh, I have to draw it first, or else I just get lost. I get lost.
Oh, no.
I have to really concentrate. Even the simplest, stupidest little shit, I got like this. I got to like, because this is actually quarter round glued to corner brace so that the chalk doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
It's like quarter round or something. But
that's interesting.
So I just figured, because I read this book, Temple Grandin, and she wrote this book called Thinking in Pictures. And she said that object visualizers, people who think in pictures, are generally good with animals and good and mechanically inclined.
Wow.
But they're not like engineers. She calls them clever engineers. They're not like math engineers.
Yeah.
Like,
Math.
So I figured that you were a object visualizer, but that's so interesting that you are not.
Not at all.
Wow.
It's strange.
Yeah. How did you learn? How did you figure everything out? Did you just trial and error?
Fail a bunch. And that's something where when I look back, I don't know how I did it living in this workshop in an old caravan. It was like 3 meters 50 long. It was just like the really small ones. I lived in there and no heating. When I worked in the bar and I came home at night, maybe 3 a.m, my water bottle would be frozen. Like the water bottle next to the bed was frozen.
That's the thing people don't get about German heating in the winter. It's like some houses you have coal and it's like a big box, like a big ceramic box that you put sheets of weird fucking lignite coal in the bottom. It gets cold. I didn't know, like olive oil turns into kind of smoothie oil. Ooh.
It's like the ice crystals in it. So I don't know where I got the conviction that this is the right thing for me, because it was so fucking hard. It was cold and there were rats, and my neighbor had a drug laboratory and it exploded one day.
My God.
It was the biggest find of methamphetamine in Cologne, in the history of Cologne. And that was my neighbor. And I woke up in the morning like, what's the smoke? Like, I wonder. And then I was like, I think, because he was like kind of shady guy.
Okay.
We drank coffee every once in a while, but he kept to himself, which was weird. And then I called the cops and they didn't take it serious. But then like 2 hours later, it was like laboratories, mobile laboratories, people in these like outbreak suits.
Whoa.
And I had to go to court.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that was so funny. The judge was, how did you know that was drugs? Because it's just smoke. Could have been a fire. And I said, I was watching a lot of Breaking Bad at the time, and I was pretty sure it was drugs.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah, so coming back to that, I don't know where I got the conviction that this is the right thing for me, because it was so hard and I sucked at it. And I did it so late in life. Like 27 or something when I started.
Yeah, I was 25 when I started making videos.
It's late.
Yeah, it is late. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
There's this guy that I like to talk about, and I like to watch him when he's on podcasts. His name is Scott Galloway. I think he's a professor, maybe at NYU or something, like in the business school. But he's like a rich guy. He like made a bunch of money, but he had a lot of failures. And he I think I've lost my train of thought a little bit, but he is very discouraging of romantic jobs. And he says if you take a romantic job, a job that employs that has an employment rate of less, a job that has like in a career that has like a less than 10% employment rate, like acting, whatever the shit we do. He said, if you're not getting green lights, like basically right away,
Yeah.
you got to quit. You got to turn and do, because you're going to throw too many years at it and
Yeah.
it's not coming back, which is the opposite of what my generation was taught.
Yeah.
It's just like, follow your dream. That's
Yeah.
such a dangerous, he says that's for rich people. Following your passion is for rich people.
Yeah.
But some of us get get very, very lucky. You have a very American mindset.
I think so too.
Yeah, you're like one of the people who would have come here. You are one of the people who came here. You're an immigrant.
Yep. I am now. But I think so too. And this whole maker spirit is very American. And I always hated that in Germany because, again, it's a two-edged sword. Because on the one hand, we have the best carpenters. We have the best, because the education is insane. Imagine like what you have to do to get a fishing license. Now scale this up to what do you have to do
That's
to
why the
be an
doors
architect.
close perfectly.
Yeah.
Click.
Yes.
And the bolt goes into the
Yes.
click.
It's perfect.
Everything is the windows
Yeah.
clink. They open everything. I so appreciate that about.
Yeah,
more than
but
Europe
I don't
and Germany.
care,
Right.
I don't care.
Because you're an American.
Yes,
You want the Ford.
I'm an American at heart. My grandfather actually moved to America when he was 50. He had a company, like machine building company, and he was on a business trip with his best friend, and he woke up in the hotel, and his best friend didn't come to breakfast. He had a heart attack.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, okay, this is it. I'm not working myself to the ground. Like, sold the company essentially and moved to Florida. Got a boat. Golfing. So as kids, we
Is
would
your
always
grandfather? Everybody's grandfather in America lives in Florida.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
So as kids, we would spend a lot of time here, and I think that's where I have this fascination and this draw to America. I actually remember, I think this was one of my coolest flights in life, because my parents they never really cared, but the upside of that is I could do whatever I wanted, and I was maybe 13, end of 13, and I wanted to visit my grandfather, and they didn't want to go, so they're like, okay, you can fly. So they got me a ticket. I had to transfer in Atlanta, which at that time was the biggest, and I thought
that's like the biggest airport in America.
It's still, right? Yeah. And I think back then it was in the world.
Okay.
And I thought everybody on this plane is going to Florida to essentially my grandfather's
house. You gotta take trains in the
And I lost my wallet too. It was a nightmare.
Oh my God.
But my father dropped me in Frankfurt at the airport. It's like, okay, this is where you check in. You just show them your passport, and then everything goes automatic. I'm like, amazing. Checking in. And then I talked to the woman. I was like, could I actually book this for smoker? I was like 13, just started to smoke. And they're like, I have so much time. I should be able to smoke, She was like, of course. You're like, 13-year-old girl booked me to smoker. And that's how I flew to America. And that's the whole, like.
What airline? Lufthansa?
I don't know.
I remember smoking on KLM, Air France. Yeah.
I mean, I don't smoke anymore, but I'm so thankful. Like the only cigarette I smoked in the last 10 years was in the space program when I was commander. Yeah. I'm so thankful, but I'm also thankful that I smoked all these cool cigarettes, in cabs, in restaurants, in the plane.
Do you remember in the Quentin Tarantino movies? The characters always smoke this brand of red apples. Okay, so I was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
At which is where all the tobacco comes from. At a tobacco they had billions of different packs of cigarettes. This is when I first started. I was probably smoking for 5 years at this point. And and I bought Red Apple.
No
I
way.
swear to God. And I thought it was a thing. I thought it was like, oh, this is a brand. They smoke it in the movie. No. It was something that some genius in North Carolina made, blah, blah, blah. And my God, I wish I had more of those.
Yes.
I smoke when when friends die.
Oh.
That's my allowance, is if someone dies, I smoke a cigarette.
It's
kind of like bittersweet. They're terrible. They make me sick. They're gross. It's not the same as when you're a habitual.
Do you remember
smoker.
the 72 cigarettes? That's something we never had in Germany either, but it was only from Marlboro, I think. And I don't know if it was.
I remember the wides. They had Marlboro wides. Oh, were they like
shorter?
Yeah.
They were perfect
and thicker.
I think it was the same. I'm not sure.
We had
Maybe
Camel wides, Marlboro wides. They were like thick and short. We had American Spirits. Did you ever get those?
Yeah.
Those are the best. That's what I ended with. That's what I ended my career with, the blue pack and the yellow pack.
I rolled at the end.
Okay.
And then that, you lose complete control over your life. If you start rolling cigarettes, you never stop smoking. It's the best. You're like...
Plus, if you're a maker like us.
Yeah, it's so satisfying. And the whole ritual of having your lighter. And that's why I love Like, this is my
Yeah.
cigarettes now, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
I love it.
What kid stuff? How old are your kids?
The oldest one is 3.5.
Okay.
And the other one is 10 weeks now.
So what kind of kid hack like makeup things have you, or
well,
not
I mean,
made things have
what
you
keeps
done?
us, me and Tiny, like for hours is, can we touch the ceiling with a tape?
Oh,
Can we touch
okay.
the ceiling? Can we touch the lamp? Like, and then if it like
Oh.
collapses, she loses her mind. Like, that's the best.
Like
She
what
also
kind of
helps me make
reaction?
these. Like, that's maybe child labor, but she puts in the magnets at home.
Wow.
So it's a
I
treat.
believe
for
in
her.
child
It's
labor.
like,
It should be mandatory.
if you have a good attitude, we get to do some tape mates. Like,
Yeah. How does she react when the tape breaks?
she's just thrilled.
Oh, she thinks it's. Oh, I thought you meant she started crying.
No, she's like, well, it collapses. It's like knocking over, you know?
Right.
No, she loves it.
Right. Oh, that's great.
She's great.
Yeah.
It's wild having, because that's another thing I never talked about. I work on a German kids TV show
Okay.
that I grew up watching with.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 53 years old now, the show.
God.
And I have my own segment. It's maybe 6-8 episodes a year where I build stuff. And that now being with a kid every day, it's so
Yeah.
much easier to come up with stuff. 'Cause
Yes.
everything is interesting,
Yeah.
but not necessarily with the narration that we have, you know,
Yes.
but a tape collapsing with the sound. And when does it happen? You know, that's interesting.
Yes.
So definitely want to do something with that. You know, that's
the slap bracelets, they used to have tape
Yes.
measures on the inside of them. You know
Yes.
that. Of course you know that. Yeah. They used to be
best.
made out of old tape measures.
there was this rumor that a kid slid it.
I know.
Right?
It's such fucking bullshit. That is.
Urban legend, though.
Yeah, that's like the Slinky Corporation.
But that was half
put
the
that
fun
up.
for us back then. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
it needed
my.
that story. Maybe that was very smart marketing from the people.
Because it sells more. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For the cutters.
Wow, this is very easy.
Okay,
to
so we're at an hour, so the camera's about
okay.
to melt. And
Okay. Bye. We should.
oh wait, we can't end with this
No.
with the saying.
do we end
Oh,
with?
so what do you? Okay, so what are you most happy about living? I love. This is my favorite place I've ever lived.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think? What do you think of it so far? L.A.
It's probably not. I wouldn't have chosen this for myself, but I noticed that it's getting better and better.
Okay.
It's getting. I like it more and more every day. But it is a fucking weird town. It's weird.
It's weird. There's a lot of weirdos here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange. I feel sometimes I have a feeling that LA is a city that lives in the moment, but the moment is past.
Ah.
You know what I mean? It's like everybody's so like, ooh, but
Yeah.
the train has left.
Yeah.
Which has its own appeal, but it feels like it's over. But that can have, it's maybe like East Germany. You also have that sensation there where you're like, oh, what happened here?
Yeah.
But that's opportunity.
Yeah.
In East Germany, you can get a warehouse for nothing. You can buy a village in East Germany that has, like a village that has a post office and houses and your own street, and you can buy that for 300,000 euro.
Really?
Yeah.
Gotta hold
Because
on
there's
to
no
it for 10
economy.
years,
but
though.
us YouTubers, we don't need economy. Like, we're our own system. So
Yeah.
moving to the east of Germany, like you have to deal with the weirdness of the people there. But if you have your own village, you know, who cares? Maybe that's where the opportunity is. Maybe LA has to, you know, be driven further and further into the ground till nobody wants to live here anymore. And then it's like, and then
Yeah.
it starts over again.
Because it's not getting any cheaper. It's getting worse and more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Same with New York.
Yeah, but don't you think like it will collapse like the tape, you know?
Yes.
And then it will collapse, and then only the artists will.
It'll
stay.
be like if you've ever been to Detroit,
No.
Detroit will never recover.
Okay, why are we not in Detroit then? Is it so bad? Is it so dangerous? Or
It's too. It's,
Too far
if
gone?
Ford can't make it, you know,
yeah.
it's just too. It's when I went in 2013, so it could be much different.
Mm-hmm.
But it just felt like the Detroit. Oh, we'll get a huge thing. That all felt like a fucking scam.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the $10 building and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
That all just was like it felt like a scam. Like the guy who owns QuickBooks,
Mm-hmm.
not QuickBooks, Quicken Loan. Sorry, Quicken
Okay.
Loan. Apparently. Bought up like all that's like bought it all up and is trying to blah 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 blah. It's just another. And I read this book about Detroit called by this guy named Charlie LaDuff, who's from Detroit, And he just it has been so corrupt from day one that you can almost not function.
Yeah.
And I'll tell one story about Detroit. This is, maybe we'll end on this, even though this is negative. But he tells this story in the book, just to give you an idea of how corrupt this place was. Yeah. So there was this firehouse, right? You know, nobody has any budgets. Everybody's like, and the firemen are driving back from a fire, and they pass a abandoned lot that's just full of junk, and there's a screen door in it, and they needed a screen door because in their kitchen of the firehouse there was no screen door and they had flies. Okay. So they salvaged the screen door, they put it up, blah 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 blah. The Congress, or the like state assemblyman or whatever, or the city councilman or whatever, kind of somehow finds out about this.
Yeah.
And like throws the fire captain in jail for like
what?
And it turns out the reason they didn't have enough money to buy a door is because that very city councilman had stolen $1.6 million from their budget. And even Steven, except for the book, the guy's still fine. He still has his job, but the fire guy who's out putting out fires, I think they like put him in jail, or he lost his thing, blah, blah, blah.
What the fuck? Yeah.
And so I think that it just like poisoned. It just poisons, places get like poisoned with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, with the lack of honor.
Yeah. Lack of honor. Shit.
Yeah. But we're builders, so we can't
it.
lie,
no,
or else this stuff falls apart.
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you so much for having me.
I love having you here. It's so great to come to me.
Yeah, another hour.
Oh, well, I'll come to yours. We'll do it at your place.
Yeah, when it gets colder.
Yeah. All right, let's go.